So the big question is this: how do you lose all the weight that you want and actually keep it off for the rest of your life, while trying to make sense of all the noise that comes from the weight loss industry? That is the question. And this podcast will give you the answers.
G'day guys, and welcome to the next episode of the Weight Loss Secrets podcast. My name is Baron Grant and I'm wrapped to be with you for another day, another tip, another trick, another idea, something that's going to be able to help you to make the changes you need to in your life so you can finally lose all the weight you want and keep it off forever. And before I jump into today's topic, make sure you head to ditchingthediet.com where you can download my book, jump on a program or book a call with me, straight up. Now, with all that said, I want to talk today about the pros and cons of weighing yourself every day. I've literally spoken to thousands of people, as I've probably mentioned before, but in those discussions, I get questions like, how often should I weigh? Should I weigh every day? All the time. People are always asking me, what is the best way to go? So I'm going to break down a couple of pros and cons that might be helpful for you as you make your decision about whether you should weigh every day. I have my own opinion that I'll share at the end, but there are some pros and there are some cons with however you go about doing this. Okay, so let's start with some pros. So if you weigh yourself every day and you're on a weight loss journey, this is very different, by the way, to weighing yourself every day when you think you're on a weight loss journey, but you're not actually doing anything. So I talked to lots of people who weigh themselves every day on the hope that something miraculous is going to change by weighing themselves. And they read a book about weight loss, or they read a recipe book that was going to help them to have lower calorie food or whatever it is. You can't think yourself to be a healthy weight, unfortunately. So getting on the scales is only helpful, really, if you don't want to do your own head in, when you are actually trying to lose weight instead of convincing yourself that you are trying to lose weight, but you're not really doing anything. So that's one point to take away. But let's say you're on the plan. You're gonna lose weight. Here you go. You've made some changes in your life. Should you weigh every day? So here's one of the pros. One of the pros is that it provides some accountability because you can look and see what is happening day in, day out. You can see if you've lost weight from yesterday to today. You can get a rhythm of what's going on. And so that can keep you motivated, potentially. That's a pro. It can keep you motivated on the journey. So that's certainly one reason it provides a bit of accountability, because you are accountable to the scales. Now, they're not a human, so it's not going to provide great accountability, but it gives you something to be able to check where you're at. It gives you progress updates all the time. Now, the other pro, I would call it, is that it promotes good habits. So if you're weighing yourself each day, you're more conscious of the fact that I better eat something good today so the number goes down tomorrow. Because if it doesn't go down, that can be quite demoralizing. I saw it written somewhere that the scales was the step of sadness. So people get on the scales, they look for something to change, it hasn't changed, they're disappointed and shattered for the rest of the day. And that's what it can be if you're not making proper, good, healthy habit changes. So if you start weighing yourself every day and it can prompt you to make good, healthy changes, because you can start to see a bit of a pattern from the bad foods that you're eating, and it might prompt you to do some good changes or healthy changes to your food. So there's a couple of pros. There's probably some others as well, but they're the two that I want to focus on. It provides some accountability and promotes some good habits. But I'm going to call out my bias here is I'm not a fan of weighing every day when you're trying to lose weight. 100% it works for some people and they love it, but it only works for people if if they understand that weight loss is not linear. If you want more information on that, head to my other video, Weight Loss is Not Linear, because I talk about this. It's not. It fluctuates day in, day out for a variety of different reasons. But if you're ready for that, if you're ready for the fluctuations, then weighing every day is okay. But if you're not ready for the fluctuations, number one con is that you can get fixated and frustrated. So imagine it for a second. You've started a new weight loss program and you weigh yourself first day and you've lost weight and you're like, oh, that's it, this is the one, this is going to work. And then you weigh yourself the next day and you haven't lost weight. Does that mean the program's not working, whatever you're choosing to do? Or does that mean something else? Because there are a variety of different reasons why your weight will fluctuate. You might be a bit sore from a workout and have some inflammation and water retention in your body. As a woman, it might be your time of the month, and that will cause you to carry, generally from what I've seen, the evidence I've seen, up to an extra kilo of weight. just because it's the wrong time of the month. So that's something to consider. You might have drunk more water than you normally did and it hasn't come out yet. And so that might be another thing. You might have eaten some extra salt yesterday, and that salt causes your body to hold a little bit more water as well. There's heaps of different reasons for why your weight will not drop every single day. Now, when you do the right things over a good period of time, you'll see the drops. So my number one con is you'll get fixated on that result. And each day you get on, it will either destroy you or make you happy, or just, you'll be okay. There's probably 3 different emotions you can have. But when you go down the path and you look on the scales and it hasn't moved or it's gone up, that is also a trigger for someone to quit. Because they go, it doesn't work. Incorrect, not true. Doesn't mean it's not working at all. It means that your weight has just fluctuated. And your weight will fluctuate from the morning to the evening. If you weigh yourself in the morning, you'll be 1.5 kilos lighter probably than you will be in the evening, depending on what you've eaten for the day. It could be 1 kilo, it could be 500 grams heavier by the end of the day because of what you've consumed throughout the day. And then your body will use energy throughout the day, and then throughout the night when you're not consuming anything, and your weight will fluctuate again. So it can lead to a fixation that's really unhealthy in my eyes. And so I don't think it's a great call. And that's why I lean more to the con side. I think once a week is absolutely plenty, but it can increase your stress about the whole situation as well. And when we have increased stress, we have increased cortisol levels, and cortisol is a weight loss inhibitor. So if you get on the scales and you're like, I didn't lose, this is never going to work, this is the hardest, it's terrible. What happens? Our stress hormones go up, and then it becomes even harder for our body to lose weight. Also, you start to get unrealistic expectations because at the start, another con, at the start, when you start to lose weight, you normally will lose a little extra than what you will ongoing week on week on week when you're in the grind. So you might lose 5 kilos in the first week, you might lose 3 kilos in the first week, and then you get on the scales, that whole week you've been losing like 1 kilo a day for a few days, and then you might lose half a kilo, and you're like, man, this is easy, I'm going to smash this thing. But then you get 2 weeks in and you're not losing half a kilo every day anymore, or 300 grams or whatever. You're losing less, and it might be a little bit more up and down on that journey to losing. So that can set up some unrealistic expectations for how it's going to go day after day after day after day after day. And you can get discouraged. That's the biggest thing for me, is the discouragement is a real challenge, because discouragement leads to quitting, leads to never getting to where you want to be. I had one lady one time, she weighed herself for 36 days in a row, lost every single day for 36 days in a row, which is quite rare, really. And then at day 36, 37, whenever it was, she contacted me and said, Baron, I've put on 200 grams, and she was devastated. And so we had to have a big, deep and meaningful about that. Now, over the course of that week, she still lost 1.7 kilos, which was awesome. But she got caught up. She got fixated on the number every day. It's always fluctuating, and that's okay. So if you're a person that can manage those fluctuations, all good. You can weigh every day. If it's not going to emotionally upset you at all, that's okay. But I've not seen many people at all, I could probably count on my hand off thousands, that can actually manage that feeling of not losing weight every single time they get on the scales. So if you're not that person, then just blow it out to a week or so. Every week or so is plenty of time for your body to make some good adjustment, and then you can get a check-in point. And all it is a check-in point. Remember that. We want the scales to go down. That's super, super important. But there are other metrics that it's important to measure as well. You might weigh, you might measure yourself. You might, check by your clothes, check by how you feel, check when you're going for a run because you move easier, when you bend over and tie your shoelaces. There's lots of ways you can check that things are changing without jumping on the scales every single day. So give your body time. That's a really important part of this message, is if you want long-term sustainable change, give your body a little bit of time to get that done. If you jump on every day, you can't see much of a difference, and that's demoralizing. But if you jump on every week, you're going to see some great differences on the journey. So, scales. Use them every day if you think you can manage it emotionally, but don't if you don't think you can, like most people. So realistically, my recommendation to the general population would be once a week is plenty. Then you can see a lot of really good difference, and you're not going to get discouraged and frustrated along that journey. Stick at it. We'll chat soon.